All right, question 30. We have the figure above shows a regular hexagon with sides of length A and the square with side of length A. If the area of the hexagon is 384 square root of 3 square inches, what's the area in square inches of the square? Okay, so this question is one of the tough geometry ones. Okay, so let's start with the hexagon. Okay, so our goal is to solve for the area of the square. So to solve for the area of the square, we do need to know the side. Okay, because the area square is side times side. So pretty much if you figure out one the side here, right, then we can do side times side. That should be the answer. So the challenging part here is how do we figure out the side of the hexagon using the area here? Okay. So we know it's a regular hexagon. That means all 6 sides are the same. And the area is 384 square root of 3. So for a hexagon, what we can do is we can actually split this up into 6 triangles. Okay, so split this up into 6 little triangles. And each triangle here will be an equilateral triangle. Okay, how do we know that? If you want to prove it, you see, and inside for all the central angle, they should add to 360 because that's a full circle. And since we have 6 angles there, we do 360 divided by 6. Each angle up top here should be 60 degrees. Okay, I'm not gonna write out all the angles, but each one should be 60 degrees. And see how these two are the radius and the hexagon, so these two are the same. So that means the 2 base angles also have to be the same. Since all 3 angles have to be 180, then each of these two have to be 60 and 60. Okay, and from the picture, we can tell, right, it looks like it's equilateral. All 3 sides should be the same. Okay, so for regular hexagon, if you split it into triangles, each triangle will always be equilateral. Okay, so you can just kind of remember as a rule. So what we can do is we can say, since we can split this into 6 triangles, and the area of each triangle are the same, so we can just take the total area for the hexagon, 384 square root of 3, and then we can divide by 6. Okay, so 384 square root of 3 divided by 6. That should be 64. Okay, so it'll be 64 square root of 3 for this one. Okay, and then if you have 64 square root of 3, that should be the area for each triangle there. Okay, so let me just gonna draw a close up. Okay, let's just look at this triangle. You know, all 3 sides are the same, and the area of this triangle is 64 square root of 3. Okay, remember our goal is to figure out one on the side here. Okay, that's our goal. So what we can do is first we can say the area of the triangle, the formula is 1/2 base times height. All right, 1/2 base times height. And we know the area is actually 64 square root of 3. Okay, so what we can do is for this triangle, if we split it right down the middle, see this will be the height of this equilateral triangle. And we split right down the middle, the height and the base, they form 90-degree angle. And remember this one is 60. So then the top angle there had to be 30 degree. Okay, so we split it right down the middle. What we just made is we have 2 30, 60, 90 special right triangle. All right, so we focus on this here. We can say if for the special right triangle, if the short leg, right, the shortest side here, if that's x, right, the longer leg had to be what? The longer leg is whatever x is times the square root of 3. And long leg is always whatever x is, whatever short leg is times square root of 3. And then the hypotenuse is 2 times x. Okay, that's a ratio for 30, 60, 90. So this is on the formula sheet as well. If you need to refer back to it. So a special right triangle. Okay, so what we can do is we can plug in the base and the height, and then we can try to solve for x here. All right, so the area is 64 square root of 3 equal to 1/2 times the base. Well, we had to use the base for the whole triangle, right? So for the triangle, the whole base is actually 2x. So don't miss that, because we said this half side is like x, right? So the whole base is 2x. Okay, and then the height, we said that's x times square root of 3. Okay, and then we can actually solve for x from here. So this should give us 64 square root of 3 equal to 1/2 times 2. 1/2 times 2 is actually 1, so they cancel out there. And then so we just get x times square root of 3, so it'll be x squared times square root of 3. Okay, and then since we have square root of 3 on both sides, we can actually divide this out. Okay, divide by square root of 3 out on both sides. We get 64 equal to x squared. And to solve for x, we can take the square root on both sides. So x equal to 8. Okay, and since it's a geometry question, we don't have to worry about plus minus, because it's representing a side had to be a positive number. Okay, so x equal to 8. So we're almost there, right? So we know x is 8. That's like this number. Okay, so that's short side. So the whole thing, the whole base for the triangle should be 2 times 8, right? So the whole thing, the side for a triangle is 2x, which is 8. Wait, 2x is 2 times 8, which is 16. Right, so that's the side here that we're going to use. And this is the side of the triangle, which is also the side of the square. Okay, is 16. So to solve for the area of the square, we just have to do one more step. Area of the square is side times side. So I have 16 squared is 16 times 16. Do in the calculator, what's 16 squared? Is 256. Okay, and that will be our final answer for number 30, okay, which is letter A for this one.